Recent reports show that over a third of adult children don't actually know what their aging parents want when it comes to care or end-of-life decisions. So in honor of National Senior Citizens Day, author, CEO, and founder at Complete Elder Solutions and America's Solutionist for the aging community, Princella Seymour joins me now to discuss. So thank you so much for joining us today.
It is such a pleasure to be here. I am so excited about this title, and to help everyone that's listening today.
Your book is titled Everything You Need to Know About Me. So why is it so important for families to have these deeply personal conversations before a crisis hits?
You know why it's important? Because crises have no timetable. So a crisis can happen at a moment. It can happen planned or unplanned. Now, why do I say that? I say that because oftentimes I've spoken with families and they'll say, Mom and Dad was driving yesterday, everything was fine, and they had a slip and fall. Or suddenly she woke up and she was confused. We thought it was a UTI, which is a urinary tract infection, right? And so after we cleared that, we really noticed the decline. So do we have time to figure it out? And it's funny and strange with dementia and Alzheimer's. They're not noted at a time span we can't predict. So it may be a little bit too late. So having an understanding the person that you're caring for, whether it be a mother or grandmother, the next door neighbor, it is extremely important if you are the trusted person that they're relying on to have these conversations. Because again, time is unpredicted. We don't know when it's going to happen.
What are some of the most common gaps you see between what aging parents want and what their adult children think they want?
Well, the biggest gap, I think, is really not knowing, right? So let's start with that first, because again, as I said earlier, it's not a conversation that we like to have, right? So oftentimes the gap is really balancing my life and balancing mom, right? So what's good for mom and what's good for me? So we've got to come and bridge that together, because oftentimes, right at caregiving, we can be at a moment where we're having grandchildren or small children, right? Because a caregiver can be a 40-year-old, to be honest with you, right? So that biggest gap again is knowing and what not knowing, and how to balance without leading to conflict, because that's extremely common, is the conflict. You want to put me away, I want to stay home, right? So you get blamed. So now you're dealing with your emotions of guilt, because I have to make the decision because I'm at a pivotal moment. My career is at its height. I'm newly married, or I'm getting married, or, for a variety of reasons. So a lot of times, again, that gap becomes really knowing each other, where each other are at this particular time in their lives.
And your book includes prompts and questions. So what are one or two key questions every adult child should ask their parents today?
Every child should know everything financially and healthcare. Let me start with healthcare, because again, as I stated earlier, Jordan, most of the times we are not in the home with our parents or the person that we've suddenly become the caregiver. So we don't know all of the physicians. A lot of times I'll hear them say, Mom has an appointment today, but I don't know where or with who. So if I had to assume that role right away, who would I call healthcare? How do I know your medications? How do I know the specialist? I don't know those things. And as far as a financial perspective, who is your financial advisor? Who is your estate planner? We need to know those things, because this is how we can pick up at a moment and start to act on your behalf and make sure all your wishes are granted. And if we don't know that, then we can't follow through what you desire.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Such an important topic that we all could benefit from having these conversations. So where can we get more information on you and your book?
You can find our book on Amazon. You can also go to our website at CompleteElderSolutions.com, where you can purchase from the site directly on our website.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, Jordan. I'd love to come back at any time.
Of course. And everyone at home, if you would like to see this interview again, just head to First Coast News Plus.